Good morning, students. Previously, we have discussed in child health nursing about the UTI system, nephrotic syndrome, etc. Today, let us discuss about the poisoning in children. Coming to the poisoning, you already know in adult also the same is poisoning. You have already seen about the poisoning. Coming to the definition, poison means it is nothing but it which kills or injures through the chemical actions. That is the poison. Poison is anything that kills or injures through its chemical actions. And most poisons here are swallowed or ingested by the children. The word poison comes from the Latin word potere, meaning to drink. But poisons can also enter the body in other ways by breathing through the skin, by IV injection, from exposure to radiation, venom from a snake bite or insect bite. These are the various ways through which the poison is introduced into the body. By breathing, through the skin, by IV injection, exposure to radiation, venom from a snake bite or insect bite, or by swallowing and ingestion. Most of the poisons are swallowed or ingested in the children. Types of poisoning. Poisons include high toxic chemicals which are not meant for human ingestion or contact, like cyanide, paint thinners and or household cleaning products. And many poisons are usually are harmful and they are ingested through the foods and medicines they use. What are the foods? Means their foods are like mushrooms. Some mushrooms are poisonous, and drinking water contaminated by agriculture or industrial chemicals, and food that is not properly prepared or handled. That means the food which is destroyed and which is spoiled foods, like which are kept for long period. They are also become the food which is kept for long period becomes poisonous, and food which is fungi with fungi and bacteria also becomes poisonous. And coming to the drugs, some drugs are used for the therapeutic doses, but these drugs, when they are used in high doses, they lead to the deadly effects. Examples are గిడపెట్టొద్దు. These drugs are usually beta blockers, warfarin and vitamins. These beta blockers, among the beta blockers, usually these are beta blockers are usually used for the heart, in the treatment of the heart conditions like angina, abnormal heart rhythms, like high blood pressure, migraine, social phobia, etc. And sometimes we are using in tremors also. And when they can be used when there is difficulty in breathing, coma and heart failure. Coming to the warfarin, it is a blood thinner and which is used to prevent the blood clots. When it is also used in high doses, it also becomes a poison, and it is active ingredient in rat poisons, and which causes heavy bleeding and death. Vitamins like A and D, when they are used in large amounts, this all cause the liver problems and death. Coming to the emotional trauma, it is also the psychological response for and becomes the one of the leading cause. Coming to the symptoms of poisoning are usually classified according to the condition of the patient. Some poisons enlarge the pupil, while others shrink the pupil, and some result in drooling, and some others dry the mouth and skin. some they produce tachycardia and some they produce bradycardia, and sometimes they produce dyspnea and sometimes it is bradypnea, and some causes the pain and some are painless, and some causes hyperactivity and some causes drowsiness. This depends upon the symptoms depend upon the type of poison consumed. And when the cause of the poison is unknown, that means when the patient is unconscious and the cause of the poison is unknown, some of the symptoms may vary. For example, usually two different poisons may make the heartbeat fast, that is we can see the trachycardia, and usually the skin and mouth gets sometime at this time they become dry, and simple distinction may help the narrow of the possibilities. And sometimes there may be contaminated food at water at the working environment, that time we can suspect the poisoning. And either it is due to single poison or due to different types of poisons we have to suspect. Those are usually toxidromes. Certain poisons cause toxicologists called toxidromes. Toxidromes means nothing but this, usually the symptoms caused by toxins and the syndrome, both it is toxidromes. For example, Jimson weed, plant smoked or ingested for its hallucinogenic properties, usually that is anticholinergic toxidrome usually we see. In this there is tachycardia, pupils are enlarged and dry hot skin, retention of urine, mental confusion, hallucinations and coma you can see. When there are delayed onset of poisoning symptoms, what symptoms you can see? Usually delayed means due to there may be some hours delayed, some days delayed or some months also delayed due to some poisons. Which these poisons are, let us see. In cases of poisoning with prolonged onset of symptoms, dangerous, particularly they are very dangerous because they are dangerous delay in medical attention, like acetaminophen. It is a safe drug but it is toxic to liver, and when it is consumed in large quantities it becomes dangerous, and it so slowly absorbs for 7 to 12 hours, and usually there is loss of appetite, nausea and vomiting in this acetaminophen. The classic example of every slow poison is lead, usually lead. Before 1970s it is very most dangerous poison, and young children eat some wall paints and some mud. Usually this will become as a poison after several months, and they will develop abnormalities in the nervous system. When the illness may be poisoning or may not be poisoning, how can we identify? When there is a nausea and vomiting, usually nausea and vomiting are associated with the poisoning along with some other diseases also. So we have to identify whether it is due to poisoning or due to other diseases. What are the other diseases we have to include means stroke, heart attack, stomach ulcers, gallbladder problems, hepatitis, appendicitis, head injuries and many others. We have to correlate with its diseases, whether it is a poison due to poison or due to some other diseases. Coming to the investigations, how this is diagnosed. Coming to the diagnosis, a specific blood test will give serum levels of some drugs like phenytoin, theophylline, digoxin, lithium and acetaminophen. These drugs we can identify in the blood test, and some drugs affect the electrical activity of the heart also. So that means ECG can through ECG we can reveal the toxicity, and when sometimes a person is unconscious and sometimes conscious. Along with the CT scan also we can reveal whether the patient is with brain stroke or some other poisoning. when the diagnosis is done by taking history and physical examination, blood test, ECG, CT scan. Coming to the treatment. The treatment depends upon the type of medicines or the type of poison the patient had, and this poisoning condition will not be treated at the home. It should not be treated, it should not be treated at home, because it is considered as an emergency management, and they should seek the medical help immediately. And what should be done if you suspect the poisoning? Immediately we should call the National Poison Control Center, that is 108, and immediately emergency ambulance, and the patient should be shifted to the hospital for the emergency management. And we should see that the whatever the drugs taken should be usually either the drugs they are what drugs they are consumed, how much they have consumed in excess. We have to inform the poison control center, and how many pills they have taken, how many hours before or how long they have taken, and what are the symptoms developed for them, and when they have reached the hospital for the medical emergency. Everything should be notified for the emergency control center. And if an infant or toddler is ingested a poison, even if the child looks very fine, even though she should be sent for the emergency management, and you have to give an attempt to get rid of the poisoning, and that the poison has no harmful effect on the child. And at this time you have to ask the patient either they are taking any medicine bottles or container as the household cleansers, paint cans, vitamin bottles, or any plant leaves, leafy plants, or any some seeds ingested. We have to ask the patient attenders. What should be done if you suspect poisoning? Previously we have so told diagnosis done by the history, physical examination, and the laboratory studies like blood investigations, ECG, CT scan. And when we see the toxicology screening, yes, toxicology screening should be done to detect the either it is acetaminophen, aspirin, marijuana, opioids, benzodiazepines, amphetamines, cocaine, and alcohol. Either any of the drug is there or not, we have to detect them. And we should not treat these cases at the home, and usually we should not induce vomiting in the poisoned patients to change the toxin out of the body before going to the hospital. And usually the American Association of Poison Control Centers and the American Academy of Pediatrics has recommended that IPAC not to be used in the household, and do not give activated charcoal at home to induce the vomiting, and they should be treated appropriately, and you should instead to give the antidote at the hospital at the emergency care unit only. And be special vigilant that there is no change in routine. Holidays visits to and from grandparents' homes and special events may bring greater risk of poisoning, and if usual safeguards are not taken for the children. And usually you have to store the medicines, cleaning, and laundry products very carefully, like and these paints and varnishes and pesticides also, they should be kept out of reach of the children and out of the sight of the children in the locked cabinets or containers. And you should keep the laundry detergents and traditional liquids also out of reach of the children when the children are less than 6 years old. And you have to take the safety latches and automatically lock the cabinet door to prevent the dangers of the children. Coming to the self-care at home, usually we have to keep all the poisoning substances out of reach of the children, and if in spite of any ingestion of the poison substance by the children under 6 to 10 years, or under below 10 years, we have to immediately take the child to the uh, emergency unit in the hospitals, and we should not induce or give care at home. We should admit immediately to the emergency unit, and we should not induce vomiting for these children. And you should keep all the medicines in containers with safety caps, and every medicine should be seen for the label and date of expiry, and whatever the medicine we are giving for the children, it should be inspected twice or twice, and kitchen spoons should not be used for these medicines of the children. We should use the separate spoons for the children, and while in giving liquid medicines you have to take more care, and these medicines should be kept caps, safety caps tightly, and they should be child proof and child resistant. And when there are smokers in the house, we should keep the cigarettes also out of reach of the children, because nicotine is one of the cause of death in the children. And when they are using liquid cigarettes also, they should be kept out of reach of the children, and the refills also should be locked up. And the tips and for the parents to prevent and treat the children in poisoning. Each year approximately 3 million people, that is under the age of 5, swallow or will have in contact with the poisonous substance. And so to prevent this poisoning at home, usually the parents and caregivers must be more attentive, and to prevent the dangers of medicines, cleaning products, liquid nicotine, antifreeze, windshield, wiper fluid, pesticides, furniture polish, gasoline, kerosene, and lamp oil. All these are poisonous substances. That means we have to keep the children out of reach of the poisonous substances. And these substances should be always kept in the locker under lock and key. The poison treatment tips are usually immediately, if the child is unconscious or not breathing or having any convulsions or seizures after having poison, she should be immediately shifted to the emergency unit by the ambulance. And what are the different types and methods of poisoning requiring different immediate treatment? Means for swallowed poisoning, usually the child should we should make the child to spit out any remaining substance in the mouth, and we should not make the child to vomit, because regurgitation makes the child to have inhaled poisoning. That's why we should not ask the child to vomit. We should ask the child to spit out the remaining substances, and do not use any syrups of Lipac. And when there is swallowed batteries, if there is swallowed cell battery or something that is lodged in the nose, ear or throat, you should immediately go to the emergency unit and to have the care at the unit. And serious tissue damage may occur in as little as 2 hours, because it is very poisonous. Coming to the skin poisonous, usually they remove the child's clothes and rinse the skin with warm water for at least 15 minutes if they are having any skin contact with the poison. And when there is eye poisoning, usually the eyes should be flushed out with the normal room temperature water for about 15 minutes at the inner canthus. Coming to the poisonous fumes, if there are any poisonous fumes, you should take the child outside or into the fresh air immediately. And if the child has stopped breathing, start CPR and do not stop until the child breathes on his or her own. And we should take the care of, usually the parents should take care of hand sanitizers, button batteries, and poison prevention, that is any medicines or syrups that are poisonous for the children, and they should store the liquid nicotine or cigarettes out of reach of the children, and the laundry or detergent safety liquids and powders should be out of reach of the children, and child proofing home from the poisons. These are all when we take the care for all these things, we should keep out of reach of the children. And what is the medical management treatment for poisoning? Usually we should first give elimination. We should first eliminate the poisoning, that is get rid of the unabsorbed poisoning before it can do any harm. And if the patient is unconscious, the doctor will put a flexible soft plastic tube into the windpipe to protect the person from suffocating or his own vomit, that is provide artificial breathing. If the patient is having suffocation, they will provide airway intubation. Once the poison has been passed into the stomach, other methods are needed, that is activated charcoal acts as a super absorber for many poisons. That means charcoal tablets, when the poison is in the stomach, usually charcoal tablets are given in order to reduce the danger from the poison. And whole bowel irrigation requires drinking a large quantity of fluid called Golitelli, that is stomach wash. Usually you have seen using the soda bicarb solution or salt, they give antidote stomach wash, and after the stomach wash usually we prefer antidotes. That is before this, the first state is first to get rid of eliminate the poison. That is if any poison is not unabsorbed, usually we should get rid out of this thing. And if the patient is in suffocation, first give him airway intubation, and then if this poison has entered into the stomach, usually the charcoal is more preferred to get rid out of the poison from the stomach. And if it is in the bowel, and usually whole bowel irrigation is done by giving large amount of fluids along with the salt or sodium bicarbonate. And come to the medical management. Next, antidote. Some poisons have specific antidotes and some doesn't have. According to the preferred value, usually antidotes they prevent the poisoning from working or reverse the effects. Atropine is the antidote for certain nerve gases and insecticide during Operation Desert Storm. A common antidote is N-acetaminophen, that is which can neutralize acetaminophen in the overdoses. And if a person with diabetes takes too much insulin, it usually dangerously lower the blood sugar levels, and which will cause weakness and unconsciousness and eventually death. Sugar given by mouth or IV is an effective treatment until the insulin will stabilize. When the poison is a heavy metal or lead or special medicines, they bind the poison in the bloodstream and cause to be eliminated in the urine. They should be eliminated only in the urine. And other binder is the sodium polyacetylate sulfonate, which can absorb potassium and electrolytes from the bloodstream. And if a person has bitten by a poisonous snake, and anti-venin may be used to counteract the toxins usually. When the poison is a heavy metal such as lead, special medicines like chelators, usually they enter into the bloodstream and cause eliminated in the urine. And usually here sodium polyacetylene sulfonate and potassium and electrolytes will be absorbed from the bloodstream. And usually if a person is bitten by poisonous snake, antivenom is given. And general supportive measures are, there are no specific general supportive measures. Usually physician treats according to the signs and symptoms of the patient and hallucinating. A sedative can be given if the patient is hallucinating or agitated, and a ventilator can be supported for the patient who is having bradycardia, bradypnea, or they have stopped breathing due to poisoning, and any anti-seizure medications can be used to prevent the seizures for the patient. And the prognosis depend coming to the prognosis, the good outcome is rapidly recognition that poisoning has occurred and rapid transportation to a qualified medical facility where indicated. Usually prognosis depends upon the recognition. As fast as you recognize the poison, and as fast as you transport the patient, and as fast as you give the treatment, and this depends, the prognosis is very good if you recognized and transported and given treatment quickly. Okay, thank you, ma. Hope you understood about the poisoning in children. The main thing is you have to keep all the poisonous substances like hand sanitizers, button batteries, poison pills and syrups, liquid nicotine and nicotine, landroom and detergent safeties all out of reach of the children. These are the